rankings.
Yeah.
Be honest. If you know boxing, be honest. There's levels.
And it showed, bro. It showed. Good he looks.
He's very sharp. That's all I can.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. He don't look like he's a 46.
He looks like he's 36 or 26.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis was left speechless after watching Manny Pacquiao train for the Barrios fight. Despite being 45, Pacquiao's speed and power looked unreal. He was moving like an absolute beast in the gym. Fast feet, sharp punches, and total focus. If you thought he was done, think again. Manny looks more than ready to dominate. Pacquiao's teammates are just as hyped. During sparring, they said Manny looked as sharp and explosive as ever. No signs of slowing down. He trained like he was still in his prime. One teammate shared that Manny went a full 8 rounds with zero fatigue, keeping his speed, power, and timing the whole time. Every punch landed clean. The team was amazed at how fresh he stayed, even through intense sessions. According to them, he's not just keeping up, he's pushing the pace.
Everybody is surprised, so it's gonna be a good fight.
What's the most impressive? His speed, his power, his footwork?
It's everything, because you don't see him slow down. People say he's slowing down, but he's not. I mean, that's where you're exactly going to be surprised, because he's sharp, really, to be honest with you. He's very, very sharp. That's why I don't want to say anything else, but,
No, leave it at that.
you know,
But how?
I live it that way, but
Okay, so let me ask you this. In 11 days, he steps into the ring at the MGM in Las Vegas to fight Mario Barrios.
you know,
How does the fight end?
there's a chance of knockout.
Manny-
I can see that.
You can
But
see a
I'm
knockout?
not gonna say what round, but
Just that Manny wins either way,
Right.
knockout or decision.
yeah, I don't think decision. Maybe, but decision is kind of. I don't know if it's going to distance really, because the way
Manny's
I
that
see
explosive.
everything is. I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about his son, Jim, for a second. How talented is his son?
He's a very good fighter. You know, he's
Good
going
power.
there.
I've seen him knock people out.
Yeah, he's but power. You know, but right now he's still. You know, we want him to grow more. You know, so to be ready. Actually, he's ready already. So we just want it to work in silence. You know, so we keep it that way. Yeah.
What's your message to all Pacquiao fans who are watching this, who are getting ready, who are excited for Manny Pacquiao Barrios, July 19, Las Vegas?
Tune in to this coming fight, because it's gonna be a very good fight.
Don't go to the kitchen. Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes,
'Cause it can
just
happen.
Focus on that, because I know Mario Barrios also is training hard too. Manny also, he trained like there's no tomorrow.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back. He believes Pac can absolutely win another world title. Sure, Manny's older and he's been away from the ring, but Roy says the guy's work ethic, discipline, and experience are next level. He called Pacquiao one of those rare fighters who can still shock the world. In his eyes, Manny's not back for fun, he's back to fight.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever,
Of course.
when that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money he made.
Here we go. Who's greater than me? I said Sugar Ray Robinson. He said Sugar Ray Robinson. How many wins he got? I said he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles, me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. You said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you faked. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Mario Barrios made his stance clear. He respects Manny Pacquiao outside the ring, but inside, no room for sentiment. He sees Manny as just another challenger trying to take his belt come fight night. There's no love, no legacy talk, just business. Barrios is locked in, and he's treating this like any other serious title defense.
You know, ever since the fight was announced, I think initially I was kind of just like shocked. Like, man, dude, like Pacquiao wants to fight me, right? He wants to fight me for my title. You know, I think for the sport of boxing and I think just sports in general, like Manny is that name. When you think about boxing, right? He's somebody that comes to mind. At least for me, like I've been watching him since I was. Again, since my earliest memories of boxing, Manny has been a name that's like, okay, like he's the man. And yeah, you know, now he wants to come out of retirement. He wants to fight me for my title. I can't look at it as anything other than, you know, it's just another opponent trying to take what's mine. You know, he's outside the ring. I have, you know, nothing but respect for him, nothing but respect for everything he's accomplished. For the person he is, you know, everything he does, you know, for his country and more. But as soon as we step in the ring, you know, he's in there trying to take what's mine.
I'm not training with the mentality, you know, that I'm getting ready, you know, to fight an icon, to fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man, you know, trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, you know, take my title. And I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he does.
Brian Mendoza gave Manny his props, calling him one of the greats, but stayed real about the age factor. He said even legends can't escape. Time Pacquiao might still have the instincts and skills, but Mendoza believes things could get tough in the later rounds. Fans may love the comeback, but physically, this fight could really test Manny.
Of high-pressure fights.
Don't say that before the interview.
I don't. This is an unbiased opinion.
Man, I'm looking forward to it, you know, even just as a boxing fan, you know, obviously coming up, there was always, you know, seeing Pacquiao's fights and stuff, and now to see the homie, you know, going up against him like that, it's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. I know you're more so for him, but nah, man, I just think at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, the age will show up in the fight. I think at first, you know, he's had people talk about the layoff, but it's also a rest for someone at that age. So I feel like he's gonna be rested. I feel like we might see, you know, hints of little old Manny, no pun intended, the old Manny. Little bits of flashes of that in there, but I think at the end of the day, man, Mario's super sharp. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, you know, this far in camp. I'm super excited, bro, and he's gonna put on a great show. I still kind of lean towards like a decision, but regardless, it's Mario's way. If there is a stoppage, I think it'll be in like the second half. Like I said, you know, because I think that's really when the age is gonna show. Because you can look good in the gym, man, but once those bright lights are on you, anything that's wrong will come out. So as much of a legend man he is, I think, you know, he bit off a little more than he can chew with Barrios.
Despite the doubt, Pacquiao still has a loyal army of fans who believe his natural ability and ring IQ are still intact. Recent training footage reignited hope. People are saying he still has the speed, power, and those weird, unorthodox angles that always gave opponents trouble. His energy, adaptability, and willpower are what made him a legend, and fans believe they're still there.
Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring against a young fighter, champion WBC, Mario Barrios. How do you see that fight playing out?
Yeah, Barrios is a tall guy, and he's a tough guy. You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because Pacquiao is champion, the holder of the records of 8 divisions, and he knows how to fight, he knows how to win, so you always got to give it that opportunity for him to show up. And now whoever shows up in that ring, whether it's a desire to win or just try to be there, that's a question that we have to see. But I believe that he has the ability to do something to win the fight against Barrios.
Even analysts say if Pacquiao's going to win, he's got to come out aggressive right from round 1. Stamina might become a problem late, so the plan should be to overwhelm Barrios early with that signature speed. If he can control the tempo and avoid getting dragged into long exchanges, he can build momentum and possibly control the fight before fatigue kicks in.
I was talking to somebody about
Manny coming back fighting Mario Barrios.
Ouch.
And this was the analogy I gave. Your timing is just, it slows down. That's time. Time slows you down. And so to me, I think Manny has to come out very strong, very fast in the first couple of rounds because his gas tank ain't what it used to be. At 46 years old, you come out and let's just say hypothetically your gas is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather try to use that half tank
When I got something.
in 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And really get off on this kid because he has the kind of style. Styles make fights. He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do. But the further that fight goes, the more that's gonna go down. He ain't young no more when it does this. It ain't gonna do this no more. It ain't gonna go down and then come back up. He not gonna create space, take a deep breath, and that thing shoot up the way it used to. He ain't gonna do that, you know what I mean?
Some observers believe Barrios' defense could actually be his weak point. They think Manny's fast combos and smart angles might break through his guard. Critics say Barrios leaves openings and a fighter like Pacquiao knows how to find those. If Manny stays alert and doesn't take too much damage early, he could cause serious problems for Barrios.
Pacquiao Barrios, bro. Who do you like?
It's hard to know, at the age of Pacquiao, what we're going to get from him, But I'll tell you this. Depending on his conditioning, right? Depending on how much he can pop in on that instep that he brought to me, that notorious fast instep, if he can pop in that instep, and if Pacquiao can get in, I know he can hurt Mario Barrios. Defense of Mario Barrios is still suspect. He is willing to get caught. You can catch the kid. He's not hard to find.
There are still question marks around Barrios' resume. He's been stopped before by guys who didn't have power or speed. Some analysts argue that Barrios hasn't faced someone at Manny's level yet. If Pacquiao comes in with pressure and discipline, this could be his fight to win.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao, Tank Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight, regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Batiste and Adrian Broner? Those two scenarios could not be more different.
Some experts say if age wasn't a factor, Pacquiao would be the clear favorite, no debate. Even now, they believe his fundamentals and boxing IQ are better than most. People close to camp say his training has been sharp, quick, footwork, fluid combinations, full rounds, without slowing down. Mentally and physically, he's locked in. The question is, can he keep that pace under the lights?
So former 8-division world champion, now Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao is now gearing up to take on welterweight champion Mario Barrios. And this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Pacquiao saying that he's a former shell of himself, which he probably is. But make no mistake, 60% Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat on a lot of these young guys. Now, people are talking about Mario Barrios because he beat Udonis Ugas, someone who beat Manny Pacquiao last time out. But styles make fights, and this training footage of Manny Pacquiao training, I don't know. I think Barrios might be in for a long night, especially given his last time out with Ramos.
He ain't lying.
Paulie Malignaggi raised a fair concern. Can Pacquiao really hold up over a full-length fight? He admitted Manny looks great in training, but said the real issue is recovery. Older fighters struggle in those deep championship rounds. Still, Paulie called Pacquiao a special case, someone who might just beat the odds again.
What do you think about, Manny's decision and obviously getting thrown right into a title shot?
When you get older, your legs are not the same. You may have very good legs for a few rounds, but as you drag out a long fight, your legs start to betray you. I felt that later in my career. I would get into shape, but now all of a sudden, around 10, 11, 12, my legs are dragging ass, bro. Pacquiao, having not fought in a while, 46 years old. A lot of tough fights, a lot of wear and tear on Manny Pacquiao. But Manny had 70 plus pro fights. And he wasn't a defensive specialist. A lot of impact, a lot of back and forth impact. He's 46, he had a lot of heavy wear and tear into his late 30s and early 40s. So how are his legs gonna be? That's my biggest thing, because I think, Manny was a range-changing fighter. He was he was that style, in and out. He's not a pocket guy. And an in and out guy needs his legs, and needs his legs the whole fight. Unless he lands something big. I will say, I think Mario Barrios. I think he sucks.
Barrios has said it himself. A lot of legends fall trying to beat time. He thinks Pacquiao could face that same reality if the fight drags into the late rounds. Barrios believes his youth and conditioning give him the edge. Some critics also say Manny might not have that one-shot knockout power anymore. Sure, he might land clean, but can he hurt Barrios enough to finish it? That's the big question.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Manny Pacquiao will actually be fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. If this man comes back and beats Barrios, which, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think he's winning this fight even remotely. I think he could actually get stopped, in my opinion. It's not because Manny's not great or nothing. He's one of the greatest of all time. You could argue that he is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? 8th division champion. But he's just too old, man. This man is 46 years of age. If he wins this fight, he ties Bernard Hopkins' record for the oldest champion in boxing. That would be crazy. But if I'm being honest, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting stopped, dropped and stopped, if I'm being honest. He is having trouble with Ampo, bro. And Ampo not even a boxer. He a kickboxer. And yeah, I just don't think he'll, I just think he's too old, if I'm being honest. I just think he's too old to win the title. But let me know what y'all think down below, man.
Even Barrios' trainer had an interesting take. He warned people not to assume Pacquiao's inactivity is a weakness. In fact, he believes Manny might have been quietly training this whole time, staying sharp without the spotlight. A well-rested, healthy Pacquiao could actually be more dangerous. But not everyone supports this comeback. Some feel bringing legends back just for big paydays can ruin their legacy. Manny's already proven everything, and some think stepping back in the ring now could risk it all.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. If there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
That's it for today's video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Fightline for more boxing breakdowns and updates.